Another week of brand new Owl House, another week of having our theories confirmed. Edge of the World decided to follow up on the game changer that was Hollow Mind with another game changer that ties the various plot threads of Belos, King's heritage, and the Collector together seamlessly. As always, we're going to break down this episode for the biggest details that you may have missed. To stay in the loop with all things Owl House, please be sure to subscribe to the Roundtable with notifications on so you never miss a video. That, alongside liking the video, genuinely helps us out in the algorithm. You can also check out our brand new merch shop, Toon Drip, with an Owl House inspired design now available, or leave us a small tip with the thanks feature. With all that plugging out of the way, let's dive in. We open with a dream sequence where Luz and Eda, dressed up in their ground outfits, aid King in his efforts to impress his family. Now, although the inclusion of the ground fits was likely a way to just recycle some old character designs while appeasing fans, I do find it to have a deeper, sweeter meaning within King's dream. Despite Eda and Luz's attire being unorthodox, the fact King envisioned them in these clothes conveys that, to him, this is the two as their best selves. He adores Eda in a suit and Luz with the half-tux, half-ballerina drip. King's imaginary family is made up of the King of Dads, the Prince of Brothers, and the Prince of Sisters, all voiced by Alex Hirsch, just like King. Using a voice for the King of Dads that big fans of Gravity Falls may recognize, as he's used it quite a bit at panels and in behind-the-scenes content. Sadly, King realizes this is all too good to be true, nothing more than a dream. Awoken by Eda, who reveals that Luz is finally ready to talk about the events of Hollow Mind. Luz recounts Belos' conversation with the Collector, which has dialogue substantially different from what we heard in the actual episode. Instead of, "We'll play forever, me and you, when you paint the land in 9 bright hues," here the Collector states, "Let's slash and rend and crush and bruise, let's crush the land in 9 bright hues." I don't believe this has any big story implications, aside from confirming the Collector is very sadistic, but this has happened before in this season, with the end of Yesterday's Lie and beginning of Follies at the Coven Day Parade providing 2 different line readings between Camilla and Luz. I know when Follies premiered, people took it as Luz misremembering details and perceiving her mother's reaction to be worse than it actually was, but I think both of these cases are just alternate dialogues slipping through the cracks in the final version. When voice actors record, they give multiple takes that's then combed through later, and usually there's also ADR, the actors providing retakes. So it's very likely they just went with one of the other takes in the flashbacks without giving it much thought, given that they work on multiple episodes at the same time. Production trivia. But yeah, sorry folks, I could still be proven wrong, but I think this is just a minor goof. I like how Luz depicted these events through illustrations, as it's been a while since she's done such a thing, and it hits differently after episodes like Elsewhere and Elsewhen, where we saw that Belos, as Philip, had a habit of illustrating things in his journal, just like Luz. Luz is torn up that she was nothing more than a pawn in Belos' plans, struggling to figure out what to do next, but Eda warns that Belos will be sending his Coven scouts to the premises very soon. It's an inevitability. One of the 2 lines of dialogue that sets up this episode's chilling cliffhanger that can quickly be forgotten due to the insanity of everything else going on. Now, my thing is, Emperor Belos led Luz and Hunter into this memory, which makes me think that Luz is still being played as a pawn in his plans. He wanted her to learn about the Collector and the Day of Unity for some reason. Lilith arrives after Albert went to inform her of the draining spell, and Hootie gets so excited about her presence that he coughs up the mail that he ate and knocking on Hootie's door. This letter gives King directions to a place that promises to teach him more about his heritage. And although Eda is reluctant to let King or Luz go alone, while the stakes are still so high, Lilith believes this may actually be the safer call, as they'll be away from the Boiling Isles and away from Belos, assigning Hootie to accompany them. As everyone tries to persuade Eda to let them embark on this mission, Hootie chimes in during the commotion, asking, "Does anyone else hear that marching at the end of the forest?" The other line that sets up the end of this episode, as Hootie's sensing the scouts of the Emperor's Coven approaching to arrest everyone. As Luz, King, and Hootie head off into the adventure, Eda breaks down in front of Lilith, confessing immense guilt over roping Luz into all of this, just because she needed to sell some junk from the human realm. Lilith provides her sister the assurance she needs, easing her worries with the confidence that they can figure something out to stop the Day of Unity, which apparently is now only 1 week away. Do you smell that? It's the smell of a season finale on the horizon. Charcoal and boysenberry. Salty returns from separate tides and reveals that since he's no longer working for the Golden Guard, he's riding solo, as his crew all but abandoned him in favor of higher paying jobs. The gang is dropped off at the palm of a different titan on the outskirts of the Boiling Isles, one whose rotting flesh is still present on its fingers. Luz inserts the rod from King's letter into the rest of the wall that appears to have something similar to glyph combinations engraved into it, creating a portal that transports them to the other side of the world. Given the connections to the Collector, I wonder if this is some advanced glyph combination that the Collector themselves mastered and taught to their followers. Because if so, this could be a big clue as to how Belos began to work with the Collector in the first place, trying to decipher their teleportation spells to get home. The other side of the Demon Realm has numerous Titan corpses scattered about, with a familiar skull in the distance that's identical to the one from the Owl Beast's memory in Knock Knock Knockin' on Hootie's door, when the beast was transformed into a scroll. This is that exact same location, the Collector's domain. Yo-oh. King, Luz, and Hootie become acquainted with Tarek, the man who delivered the letter to the Owl House. He's unfortunately not King's father, or even one of King's people, but he introduces everyone to Titan Trapper Island, full of cultists that we learn are masquerading as Titans, disguised through what I believe to be the actual skulls of smaller, dead Titans. It gives new meaning to Tarek remarking King's father must have gave him that skull of his. It's phrased in a way where you would think he's talking about genetics, but in actuality, he didn't recognize King as a Titan. So we assumed King was a lost Titan trapper whose skull was given to him by a missing warrior. Also, I love the color design of all these Titan trappers. Multicolored anything is my absolute jam. Pretty Patty's type B. Tarek states that according to the Grand Huntsman, only one Titan is alive, and the only person who's seen said Titan is the trusted companion of the Grand Huntsman, Bill, which isn't short for anything, his name is just Bill. Luz picks up two weapons on the way to meet Bill, a sword and the spear of Longinus from Evangelion. Yes, that is its name. Please don't demonetize me. A weapon used by Nerve, although scaled down severely here so it can fit in Luz's human-sized hands. Bill is shown reading a book titled The Last Titan, a study of the Boiling Isles, written by none other than Flora Desplora, Lilith's former mentor and the Boiling Isles' equivalent to Dora the Explorer. Bill is voiced by Chris Houghton, America's sweetheart, co-creator of Big City Greens, and the voice of the series' main character, Cricket Green. This would be a good time to take a quick breather and enjoy this week's fan spotlight. Hit it! Luz pleads her case to Bill, asking for his army's aid to combat Emperor Belos' efforts on the Day of Unity. But Bill dismisses Belos as a threat entirely. I mean, upstart on Carcass Kingdom is kinda savage, and with Bill's own ties to the Collector, we're being clued in that Belos himself is nothing more than a pawn. Which, to be fair, we could already piece this together by the Collector's presence and clear role as true villain of the series, but it's nice for them to allude to such a reality here. As Bill recounts his experience with Titans, describing their behavior in great detail, mimicking King's iconic "wah" to boot, Luz comes to the jaw-dropping realization that Titan trappers aren't King's people, they're King's hunters. Bill also reveals that the Grand Huntsman, aka the Collector, cannot return to the Demon Realm in their physical form without a Titan's power. The Titan trappers want King as a means of liberation for their leader, likely due to the inclusion of Titan's blood. Luz pieces everything together completely when stumbling upon Bill's Shrine of the Collector, one that's surrounded by the bones of fallen titans. The structure that makes up the centerpiece of the shrine is also the same color scheme as the Collector's physical form. Luz and Hooty decide to retreat, but alas, timing isn't on their side, as Bill connects the dots himself and recognizes King as the titan he once saw years ago, contacting Tarek to bring King forward for a big ceremony, the resurrection of the Collector. Just before King got to play catch too, damn it! Jumping to the ceremony, King is decorated in a fur cloak and painting of a blue crescent moon on his head. This blue paint contrasting with his gold collar gives us the true color scheme of the Collector, so make of that what you will. On the podium near King lies the tablet Philip Wittebane had in Elsewhere and Elsewhen, which he appeared to use at the end to summon the Collector. Since the events of that episode way back when, the tablet was evidently destroyed and split into two pieces, perhaps by Philip himself. After Tarek uses the flame atop of Bill's skull to light the torch, King engulfs the tablet in the fire, the Collector's laugh echoing throughout his head as his eyes glow bright red. Laughter only King could hear, Tarek remarking that the connection has been made, one that isn't severed by the end of this episode, meaning the Collector is still linked to King, and likely will be paying him a visit or two prior to the Day of Unity. Bill blinds King as he prepares to impale the child with a blade, implying a blood sacrifice, or at least implying that a drop of Titan's blood will allow the Collector to reclaim their body. Luckily, Luz uses an invisibility glyph to reprimand Bill and save the day, hauling their asses out of there. In the process, Luz breaks the news to King that he's truly a Titan. A brief fight occurs, the Titan trappers cornering our heroes and unmasking themselves to reveal they're truly just witches, with moons and stars painted on their foreheads that represents their allegiance to the Collector. Truly, this was a very well done twist. Unlike Philip being Belos, which they made pretty obvious from the start with little room to doubt his true identity, which I feel was intentional, the subversion here was done masterfully. A video of ours that actually aged pretty well back in season 1 was all about how King is secretly a Titan, and all the little reasons why. Reasons that check out within this episode. However, with season 2 introducing the Titan Trappers through Tarok's appearance only, alongside the mural and echoes of the past making the Titan Trappers seem like they were King's species fighting against a greater evil, I really did start to believe King wasn't a Titan. But here we are now, theories confirmed and emotions thoroughly ruined. Through Luz demanding more answers, it's made clear that the Titans likely aren't that evil. Bill has just been pushing a false narrative, just like Belos. The gang makes a daring escape and teleports back to the outskirts of the Boiling Isles, destroying the gateway to the Titan Trappers Island in the process. Traveling back home, King accepts that this giant Titan of the Boiling Isles is likely his father, something we speculated on many times in our previous breakdowns before being led astray. King waving at the corpse and giving his father a heartbreaking hi. Unfortunately, it seems as if before Luz, King, and most importantly for defense reasons, Hooty can return home, the Emperor's Coven has the Owl House surrounded by scouts, Kikimora ordering for the arrest of everyone inside. Without Hooty to defend them, it seems as if Eda and Lilith will be captured by Belos' forces. Although what's most important for the Emperor is Luz's arrest, and judging by the next episode description, it seems as if their pursuit will bring them to Hexside. But if Belos has a one-on-one moment with Lilith and Eda, he may confirm their own blood relation, who knows? As always, we want to know what you guys thought about this episode. How do you feel about King being a Titan? What about his newly forged link with the Collector? Let us know in the comments down below, or keep the conversation going at Ostrich Vox and at Roundtable Vids on Twitter and Instagram. Give us a follow. I post memes and unapologetically want more followers. Be sure to check out Toon Drip, and if you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great Owl House content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. See ya!